Okay, so this will be the last video for today, and with this last video, all of us should have a clue on what to do next. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be working on just one page for now. So we're going to be taking the page one. We'll do our individual work in the page one. Okay, so what I will simply do here now is this. Now in this web layout, I don't expect you guys to work on the web layout. I will do the work on the web layout myself. So what I'll simply do here is I'll create an element called slots. Okay, uh, let me make a comment on it. So this will slots in or page content. Okay, now this is a little bit different from what I did earlier. Now the slot element on this is going to accommodate any additional feature that will be coming in the web layout. Okay, now this simply means, like what we did here before, now we created an extra div outside the web layout. Okay, outside the web layout. Okay, but what we're going to do now is the web layout itself will be the child of the template, because everything we're going to do is on the web layout. Okay, so the web layout will take charge of everything we are doing. Okay, so that means the header that we created earlier is supposed to be inside the web layout. Okay, now when it's inside the web layout, this simply means that on the web layout, anything you create on the web layout outside the web layout page is going to be slotted here using this slot. That means this guy here will handle anything that is coming in from the individual pages. Okay, so whatever you create here will see stand. Okay, everything you create here will still stand. So for instance, if I refresh the pages now, okay, you can see that this is what we have on the web layout. Now on this guy, if I remove this slot, let me say I commented it out and I save this, you find out that this heading, it will not be there again, because there's nothing bringing it in the web layout. Okay, so that is just what it implies. So this slot, any extra thing you're going to put inside the web layout will be slotted in using this slot here. Okay, so that is it. I have the error again. I don't know why I'm having the error. I think due to my memory, because my memory is almost full, I guess. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. But let's just say, sorry, let's just recompile as we go with the structure. So now, I think I removed this layer. Okay, like I said, we're going to work with just page one for now. Okay, I'm going to create anything on the web layout, so you're not expected to work on the web layout. So what you are going to work on individually is this. Okay, these are page one. Now on our JS, on the JS folder, I'm going to create another folder. I'll call it components. Okay. Okay. So better still, I might use components. So let me just create. Sorry, let me create a new folder. I'll call this test components. Okay, So test components. So everything you're going to do will be on these test components. Okay. So on the test components, I'm simply going to create a file. Let me call it destiny.view. Okay. I'll call it destiny.view. So what you're going to do individually is this. On the test component, this is where I will expect you to work on. On the test component, you create a file with your name, your first name. Okay. Create a file with your first name. Then you bring in your templates. Okay. You bring in your templates. Then your div. Sorry. On the templates, you have to bring in your web layouts. Okay. Web layouts. Okay. Or better still, you can just come to sorry. You're not bringing your web layout, just create a div. Okay. Just create a div. Now when you create a div, now everything you're going to be working will be inside this div. Okay. So when you come to your page 1, okay, what you just need to do is just to import that your page, the page with your name from the test components, like I'm doing now. Okay, I'm going to import. Okay, I'm going to import destiny. Okay, from dot slash. I'll import it from the test components slash destiny. Okay, then I'll register with as a component. Sorry, as a component. So when I register it as a component, what I'll simply do is I will include it on this test page, on this page 1 rather, as what destiny, just as an element. Okay, this is what every one of you is going to do. Okay, so once you've done this, you don't have to do any other thing on the page 1. What you just need to do is just to come to your own file. You come to your own file and do whatever you can do on it. Okay, so for instance, if I say let's say I'm creating HTML element and I say just testing. Okay, just testing. Go to my page and refresh this. Okay, you see I'm having just testing here, which is what's coming from this guy. Okay, so like I said, what you're going to do individually is on this test component, just create a file.view containing your name. Just you name it with your first name. Then after that, you import it here. After importing it, you register it as part of the components. Then when you register it, you bring it in as an element, another element entirely. So when you bring it as another element, you simply go to that your file and work only on that your file. Okay, so that you don't mess up things with the other files. You don't mess up the other files. Okay, so if you want to do your for now you can just do your styling, but make sure that your style is defined like this. You style, you scope it. The essence of the scoping is to enable the style work only on your page, just as I am on Destiny.view. Anything I do, even though I say H2, okay, and I say color is blue, okay, color is blue, for instance, if I compile this, it's going to work only on the file Destiny, okay. So if I have maybe another H2 here, it's not supposed to affect it, okay, it's not supposed to affect it. So that's the reason for the scoping, okay. So this also a H2, but assuming I didn't scope this, it might affect all the H2 in my application, okay. See, okay. So that is why you have to scope it so that your styling will not affect someone else's styling, okay. So it's going to work like an inline style here, but actually you can do everything you want to do here, okay. So the reason for this now is just to see how all of us can be working together on the same projects, okay. Before we talk about the main reason for building this application, we just have to test ourselves and see how we can contribute individually, okay. So that is the task for now, okay. Let me recap the task you have to perform on this test component. When you uh, update your own copy by pulling, okay, you update your own copy by pulling, you're going to create a folder, I'm sorry, a file with your first name dot view. Then you come to this page one. Remember I said we're going to work only on page one, okay. So you come to this page one. What you simply do is you import that your file, register it, then create an element with it here. That's all you need to do, okay. Then you go to the file, you open that your file and do anything you want to do, anything you desire on it, okay. So that is it. So now when you are done with what you're doing on your file, so the next thing you need to do is simply to come here on this your source control on your VS Code, okay. Now if you come to your source control, for those of us that are not used to working with VS Code and our GitHub, the source control here is going to help you to push and pull from GitHub, okay. You can pull the updates. That means like what I'm going to push now, after cloning, what I'm going to push now, for you to have it, you have to pull. So you just come to your source control in your application, come here to this three ellipse, and you click on pull. So when you click on pull, it's going to pull the updates from GitHub into your own copy, okay. So that is if you don't have the update. Even though if you have, when I click on pull now, if my copy is lagging behind, it's going to pull the updates, okay. Then if you've done anything you've done so far on your own copy, you can simply do what, push it. But before you push, you have to commit this. These are the changes I've made so far since the initial um, publishing, okay. So I have to commit the change. First of all, I'll type a message here and press Ctrl Enter to commit it, or I click on this button. So let me just say created the structure, okay. So I'll simply click on this button and it will commit the changes I've made so far. Now after committing the change, what I'm simply going to do is I'll come here and click on push, Okay, now if you're pushing for the first time on your VS Code, if you're pushing for the first time, so if you're pushing for the first time, maybe your VS Code might not have been uh, as authenticated to access the repository on your GitHub. So what you need to do is, let me stop this processing by pressing Ctrl C. Ctrl C will stop this. Okay. Uh, since taking too much to stop, okay, it has stopped. So, like I was saying, if you are doing it for the first time, maybe your VS Code must not have been authorized rather, to communicate with your GitHub account. So what you just need to do is to come to the terminal and run some commands. Okay, you have to run the git global, okay, user dot name, then in a quote you put your username, your GitHub username. So same way, after running that, you will put your email. Okay, that's another command. Okay, so actually you are going to run into an error. The error will give you a clue to do, or a clue on what to do. Okay, so what you just do when you run into that error, maybe when you're trying to push, you run into that error, you simply come to the output, you see the commands there. Okay, that you're going to do. But if any of us run into such problem and we don't have any way to solve it, we can simply just indicate on the group. Then we'll use TeamViewer. Anybody that is available, whether me or Nobu or Zubi, uh, will help the person out through TeamViewer. That is why I said we should try and download the TeamViewer. Okay, so that is what we should do. At least that is where we'll start from. From now till next week, things we must have done something tangible and know if we will be able to work on the project collaboratively. Okay, so any error we're going to encounter, because definitely we're going to encounter some error, some of us might still find some things difficult, we should not fail to ask questions. Okay, so thank you and have a nice day.